Now I want to transition to something else that I've been aching to talk about. So last week, I came on this podcast, this show, and I talked about Zion Williamson. And as you all know, Zion Williamson was in the news for, dare I say, salacious reasons. He was in the news because he's expecting to be a daddy. Congratulations to him. You'll change your life forever, my brother. I don't care what you think you know about love. You don't know anything about love until your child is born. It's a different level then. It's a different level. It's special and scary all at the same time because they're your responsibility. And money doesn't just cut it. You got to be around them and got to safeguard them, and you got to do everything you can, exhausting yourself to protect them. And even then, you're worried sick because you have that profound level of love for them. So good luck with that. But while all of that was being spread over the airwaves, the reason why is because some woman came out of the woodwork and went on social media going off on him. And she was a porn star. And then we later learned somebody else came out and was attacking him. Really damn shame. But nevertheless, his father, and some people like to say stepdad, hell with all of that. That's his daddy. That's what he calls his daddy. That's what I'm going to say is his daddy. Okay? Just because you biologically responsible for somebody coming onto this earth. No. That's just the father. Daddy is somebody that takes care of his child. My daughters don't call me father. It's daddy. It's what a daddy is. So major props to his daddy for taking care of him and speaking up for him. I just think you got to know when to speak and when it would be in your best interest to just keep quiet. Daddy didn't do that. Instead, he said this.
And I want to be politically correct when I say it. That's my son, and I love him. You know, when I was a child, I walked like a child, talked like a child, did childish things. But when I became a man, when I understood, then God blessed me. So all I'm going to say this morning, believe half of what you see and nothing you hear. That's all I'm going to say. I stand by my son 100%. There you go. I wasn't always where I am today. Come here, son.
That provokes several questions. Respectfully, to Zion Williamson's daddy, Mr. Anderson Lee. Number one, why should anyone listen to a single syllable you just uttered out of your mouth? Because you just told everybody, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. So you were speaking. If you don't want people to listen to what we hear, then we shouldn't have heard you, should we have? That's number one. In other words, that's a patently false statement because you want people to listen to what you're saying. So it doesn't make sense what you said. Number two, stand by your son for what? You see, at certain points in time, you have to wonder when a dad is speaking up to bring attention to himself. Zion Williamson may have been joked about, but no one accused him of committing a crime. He's 22 years old and unmarried. All due respect, he can do what he wants. He can do what he wants. I don't give a damn if it's some girl or if it's a porn star or a stripper or whatever. It's none of our business. None. He's 22 years old. He's a superstar athlete who is 22 years old. I can't imagine what I would have done if I was in Zion Williamson's position at age 22. And I think I speak on behalf of most young adult men out there, regardless of ethnicity. Everybody knows that, Mr. Lee. Why would you feel the need to say that? Why? And think about this for a second. Your son is being condemned in your eyes, so you think, what would exactly be the condemnation? That he got loose? That he was getting some? That dare we say he was being a bit promiscuous? He's 22 and single and rich and famous. Add those categories together. 22, young, rich, famous, and you'll usually see promiscuous somewhere. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is. Nobody's judging your son. Folks might have had fun joking around about it or whatever for a day. Nobody's judging your son. He wasn't waving a gun. He wasn't violating league rules that's going to provoke a suspension. He didn't get in trouble with the law. For all intent and purposes, he seems to be a good guy. What did I say? What I said was, you only played 29 games. That's what I said. You got this energy, evidently. Can we see you play? In your sleep, you average 26. His career numbers are 25.8 points, 7 rebounds on 60% shooting from the field. And that's with you growing, not even knowing the game yet. And you are a superstar player. We know that when Zion Williamson is on the court, he's virtually unstoppable. We know that the New Orleans Pelicans would have likely been in the Western Conference Finals. Hell, they might have beat Denver if Zion Williamson was healthy. Why would you feel the need to address those folks like that? Is that about Zion, sir, or is that about you? Because anybody with sense is not going to condemn or bother a 22-year-old who is single, unmarried, he's a superstar athlete, he's rich and famous. And oh my God, he was getting loose. He was having sex. Oh my God. Really? That's why you would feel a need to show up at his foundation and give a speech to the media nobody asked you to give. This is the problem with some parents. Respectfully. When you want attention, instead of letting things just fade. People may have had fun with Zion that day. Nobody's bothering your son. We know he's a great guy. We know he's a great athlete. We are expecting big things. The only thing your son should be bothered about is that he can't seem to get himself healthy to play. 24 games year one. Missed 21 games in year two. Missed the entire season in game 3. And only played 29 of 82 games season 4. Missing 53 games. Got his money though. You want to stand by your son? How about standing by your son in those physical therapy lessons to get that leg right so that brother could get on the court and we could see his greatness instead of hearing you talk about him like he being victimized. He's not. We really don't care. It was just fun. We know the guy's a good kid. He ain't getting in no trouble. He's not bothering anybody. And he ain't doing things most 22-year-old young, rich, famous superstar athletes wouldn't be doing. You hear a lot of superstar athletes that are young talking about a lot of things. Celibacy is not one of them. So stop it. You bringing unwanted attention to him. Chill out. Nobody's victimizing your son. We just want to see him play. And then after he plays, he can go and play as much as he wants to.